obviously coming off the back of a fantastic win on Tuesday, how easy is it to get the players up for it, or is it a bit more of a challenge?
How easy?
Yeah.
Well, the professional footballers, the one thing they want to do is win. So they won well in the week. It was good to see, and slowly but surely, I keep saying this, but we've now gone 7 games unbeaten. Well, I think we've lost 2 and 15, something like that. So the resilience that you need in this division is certainly coming to the fore a little bit. And we made some changes the other night, and they all did very, very well. So big decision tomorrow, of course, of picking the team. But when the team's performing like it is, then them decisions are your better ones. So we'll have to be at our best against a very, very good Birmingham side, which I'm, for obvious reasons, delighted about. And it'll be another big challenge. Birmingham are above us. Big game ahead.
So you've got difficult decisions. Obviously, there's players like Isaac Hayden and Ryan Taylor that aren't getting in the squad at the minute.
Well, obviously one of them will do, because Curtis is missing, Curtis Davis. And I think that's, this time last year we had 5 or 6 injuries. We've only got 1 at the moment, touch wood. Robert Snodgrass is joining in training on Monday, so that's another addition to us. And I think the beauty of it is you've got to have a squad. And injuries, suspensions become part and parcel of it. Last year, unfortunately, we couldn't cope. We couldn't cope with the amount of players who got injured, Snodgrass being one of them. So I think the beauty of it is, of course, they're disappointed that they're not in the squad, but they understand that that's the way football is these days.
Has anyone come to you and said that
they're unhappy?
Yeah,
10 of them, and rightly so. I'll be the first to knock down the door. And it's what you want. You need competition, and if you're going to be successful, then you just can't be with 11 or 12. And if you're going to keep the squad happy, then you have to give people game time too. And everybody's chomping at the bit at the minute, which is good to see. Long may that continue.
Okay, have you got any updates on Curtis Davis or
he will be 4 to 5 weeks, and I would think Diamande would be about the same. We're not rushing him at the moment with the international break a couple of weeks away. We expect Curtis to be in and around that sort of date as well.
Are you surprised by where Birmingham are on the table?
Surprised a little bit, but delighted for obvious reasons. I spent something like 10 years there. This time 12 months ago, they were bottom of the league. And I always keep an eye out for the results for obvious reasons. And you have to pay a big credit to Gary Rowett, the manager. And it's quite refreshing to see a young English one who's learning his trade at Burton, gets the opportunity at Birmingham, and he's had a wonderful 12 months. So after tomorrow, of course, then I wish him the best of luck. I mean, for those who haven't seen Birmingham, they've arguably got one of the best young players in the country in Damari Gray. So I wouldn't be surprised if he moves on to bigger and better things, because he's such an exceptional talent.
And they are in a rich vein of form at the moment.
Rich vein of form. They've got a sprinkling of some very decent young players and a bit of experience, and Robinson and Caddis and people like that. So, yeah, I mean, if you win 4 or 5 in the spin in this league, it's not a fluke. So we have to pay them the hugest respect.
Robert Snodgrass, it must be like signing a new player, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, we're delighted. I mean, he's going to join in now. The big test, obviously, he joins in with us. And the one thing about football, he's done all the rehabilitation. You can't really repeat playing football. So we wish him the best of luck on Monday. It'd be great to see him. I was just talking to friends the other day and say how sorry I felt for Bournemouth. Their big 3 players they've signed in the summer have all gone down with knee injuries. A bit similar to what happened with us last year. And Snodgrass was the start of it. When you think he's been out for 15 months, then he's due a bit of luck. And it'll be like, you're right, a new player. And let's hope he gets that look that everybody deserves.
Steve, what is your plan with Robert Snodgrass? Training next week, when can we see him on the pitch for the first time?
Well, we'll see how next week goes, and of course we've got the under-21s league, which thankfully now we're in the league above, which we're playing against decent opposition. There's obviously the option of games behind closed doors. I think all goes for next week of joining in training with us and seeing him joining in with the players. Certainly he'll be a no-go zone, that nobody will go near him, but as I said, the difficult thing with football is trying to replicate it through the physios department and the doctors and the medical staff who I have to say have done a wonderful job. He needs that bit of luck that everybody needs when they're coming back from a serious injury.
Have you a game in mind?
No, I've got no game and no time scale. When we've been out for 15 months, I think I would be a bit naive if I've put a time scale on him. We'll see how he is in training, and you know, in my experience with it, you know, it's going to take him a long time before we see Robert Snodgrass. We'll see him on the pitch, and you hope that he can bounce straight into it. And usually adrenaline gets going, and he's fine. And then, of course, you hit that wall, which is normal when you've been out for so long. So, good months ahead for him. We're delighted to see him there or thereabouts. No more than himself, who's worked, and me medical staff. I came in the other day here before the game, and it was 20 to 6, and he'd been here since 10:30. So he's worked extremely hard. Those times when, you know, we worried about him totally. Thankfully, he's on the road to recovery.
And that'll be another headache for you.
A great headache. The headaches like that, the bigger the better.
Steve, how nice was it having 3 different scorers on the show?
Yeah, well, we've been asking for that. We've been needing that because we just can't rely on a bell. And it was good to see. You know, we had 4 or 5 other really good chances in the game. And if we're going to be successful, then we know we have to chip in with a few goals from different areas. So let's hope that continues.
Was it just a case of things clicking, or was something different take place on the training ground?
No, we did the same things on the training ground. We want to try and get people forward. What we did point out to them was when we scored against Sheffield Wednesday, we had 7 players in the box. And that's something we have to work on. It's something we've been doing in the last couple of weeks, is to try and get people forward, to try and get in goal-scoring situations. And it was good to see different people scoring the other night.
What would you like to take from the last game into next week's game? Then?
The result. The result. My job's quite easy. I have to win football matches, and if you win, then great. But we're doing okay at the minute. Long may that continue.
Is this a dare to believe moment? I mean, Ipswich, and you know, if you beat Birmingham, the run starts to look. You said it yourself, 5 games in a row. It is a dare to believe moment, isn't it?
Well, we needed to, because, you know, for long periods over the summer in particular, there was an air of gloom which is inevitable when you get relegated. And thankfully, you know, with the changes we've made, you know, something like 14 left, I think, and 6 or 7 have come in. The 6 or 7 are starting now to adapt and get used to being in their new surroundings. And the nucleus of the squad is fit and healthy. We've got 1 or 2 problems, and when we look at it, the squad, we've got, I'm convinced we keep hold of them, then we've got enough to mount a challenge. Of course, you need a bit of luck, but there's no reason that we all can't think that way. And if we repeat what we've been doing over the last few weeks, then we will give ourselves a great chance.
Is Alex in pole position to replace Curtis after the way he played the other night?
Yeah, he is, yeah. Nobody sitting on the fence, yeah, he did okay. And Alex has been here 3 years and played something close to 100 games. He's never lets anybody down, and let's hope that continues on Saturday.